What?
Go on, beautiful.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Shades of Sasha. If you're new, I'm Sasha. Take a seat, put your crown on, and welcome to the gang. And if you're ready for the gang, you already know what time it is. What's good, baby? So in today's video, we're just going over the customization, the tips, the tricks, everything I did to slay this bad boy that's on my head right now. And then we're gonna get into the review of the unit. So if you're here for that, just keep on watching. So the unit was packaged in this purple satin bag. It came with a pair of lashes, a stock card, and a wig cap. Then it was placed in this plastic bag, wrapped up. And the customization of the unit is 4 clips and 2 adjustable straps. 2 clips on the side, 1 in the back, and 1 in the front. And the first thing I always do whenever I get my unit is I try them on to make sure that I can see what I'm working with, to see what changes I'm going to need to make, and to see how I'm going to just have to finesse her to make her look the way that I want her to look. So from the beginning, seeing this, I was like, the frontal is big. Like I've never worked with a frontal this large. Maybe I'm bugging. Y'all can let me know if I'm bugging, but it was a lot of lace to work with. So I'm going to use a spray bottle and just spray the unit down on the top. Take your time while doing this. You do not need to down the hair in water because the process of this is to just brush the hair back so that you can have it out of the way while you're about to bleach the frontal. So I'm going to flip my hair around and pin it on my wig head, and then the next process is just spraying it down with got to be spray. I saw a lot of people trying this because they said that if you do it, you won't have the bleach seep through the hair, and then you won't risk, you know, kind of just any brassiness or just any runniness from the bleach. And I think it kind of worked, but I really don't think it's that big of a deal. So I'm going to use my bleach and developer to do this part of the process. I do have a thicker consistency, so make sure if you're doing this, you just mix whatever developer and whatever bleach that you're using, and just make sure that the consistency is very thick. And so you're going to apply that all over, and then the next step is using a piece of foil paper just to cover the unit so that it can rush the process along a little bit better. And then you're going to put on a timer. I did 10 minutes, but make sure you're taking the time to check on this if it's your first time doing so, because 10 minutes might be too long or might be too little. Then I'm just going to wash everything out with a Shimmer Light shampoo and conditioner. So after I left my hair to dry overnight, this is what I'm working with. And for the most part, I think it came out flawlessly. I was like, okay, it did exactly what I needed. It lifted and bleached the knots the same way that I envisioned in my head. So I'm just going to put my hair up just so I can know what I'm going to be working with, and I don't want any hair in my way. And so that back tab that you have on your unit, I remove it because I do not use it for anything else. And then I'm going to go in with my powder foundation. You can use whatever powder foundation that you want to use, and it doesn't matter. Whenever I bleach my knots, I always go in with powder foundation just to make sure that my lace will lay as seamlessly as possible. So at this point, I'm measuring out to see exactly where I'm going to be laying my lace front when I come to the process of gluing it down. And I'm just going to use the bolt hold. And the first layer is just strictly to help me have a guidance, because I'm going to be adding a second layer at the end of the video and kind of walking you through how I'm going to do that. So once I added the layer and outlined my perimeter, I actually went ahead and cut some of my lace off camera, because I'm going to be cutting the additional portion that needs to be cut on camera. So I'm going to always advise to go and place your lace the amount of lace you want to be kept directly on the glue. So all of the additional lace that I intend to cut off is directly in front of the lace, and I will be removing all of that. So the exact portion that you see that is twisted will be removed, and so that is not on the glue. That should be in front of the glue, because you do not want that portion to be held down when your intention is to cut it off. So right here, I'm just gonna spray down the hair and tie it up just so that everything can really remain intact for when I'm going through the process of cutting it. And then after everything is dried and I remove my head tie, I'm just gonna go in right here and explain exactly what I'm talking about, where you see how it's in the front and the part that is actually twisted. You're just gonna use your scissor and you're just gonna go in a zigzag motion, because you don't want it to be just a blunt cut straight line, because this isn't a bob. We're not cutting the bob, you're cutting the lace. Make sure that it's in a zigzag motion. You can also use a razor to do this if you don't have a scissor at the moment while you're doing it. So right here I'm doing it again, where I'm going in zigzag motion, and just all of the additional lace that's unnecessary, that's exactly what you're going to be cutting off. So this side of my hair is completely done and it lays exactly kind of how I want it to. So I'm just going to focus on the other side of my hair, because that's the part that is actually the most problematic for me. It's like one side of the lace was very good and then the other side was just too big. I don't know, it just did not measure out and it was pissing me off. So right here I'm just gonna go in and make sure that I'm parting out the hair that I don't want to cut, because less is more. Make sure you're taking your time when you're doing this, because you cannot sew that lace back on, okay? Like if you mess this up in a big way, it's gonna be really hard to fix it, and it's just going to irritate your soul. So make sure that you're taking your time while doing this. And I'm just gonna go ahead again in that zigzag motion, just to make sure that the additional lace that I placed in front is gone. So now that the additional lace is gone, what you're gonna do is add the second amount of bolt hole or whatever glue you're going to be using, and I start from the center and I place my lace directly on top of the glue, because the outline and everything that I want is going to be laid seamlessly, because I made sure I took my time, you know, to make sure everything was outlined. I cut off everything. Like now it's go time. Like the lace is laid at this point. So when I start in the center, I just go and I choose a side, and then I just use my discretion and I use my patience. And I can't stress this enough, I take my time to make sure that when I'm pulling my lace to put it on top of that glue, I'm being as delicate as possible, because you can rip your lace if you're too rough, especially if you have nails. Make sure you take your time to do this, because you can cut through that. So once this was done, I was satisfied with how it came out. And then just stay tuned for part 2 when I show you how I style and customize it to my liking. But thank you guys so much for watching and supporting your girl, and I hope that y'all enjoyed.